And welcome to Everyday Adventures. This is almost a 0.5 to what's just been put up.
This is a
Smiler update. So very briefly, we didn't say in the last videos because we weren't sure what was going on. We got the because we went to Alton Towers in November 2013, and the Smiler had broken down, good and proper, not ever going to switch on today. They gave us complimentary tickets, and we got back in.
So we cashed them in Monday, Tuesday, just past.
So that was the
May Day holiday.
So 4th and 5th.
I think.
No, 5th and 6th. Yes, 5th and 6th of May 2014. We were in Alton Towers again, and we went on the Smiler. Quick couple of bits before we go fully into the Smiler. First of all, on the last, when we were there for the big weekend, we did the full review. We reviewed Old MacDonald Land. That's no longer there. They've shut that section down, and they're doing CBeebies Land there.
Which opens 24th of May this year.
Yeah, so under construction at the moment, so we can't review it. But as of now, Old MacDonald Land doesn't exist. No. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. The Smiler, 14-loop roller coaster, slap bang beside Oblivion in Sector X. What did you think? Yeah, describe it right. What do you think? So on.
I thought it was pretty awesome. You get a lot of ride for your roller coaster, and there is over like 1,000 meters of track. There is a big stat sign. So you get a lot. There is a part where you sort of stop, and it's all written up. It's like halfway, and then they tow you upwards for the next.
Halfway corrected.
And they tow you up for the next little bit. I like that there was obviously the 14 loops is the gimmick.
Yeah.
But as far as gimmicks go, it's not a big gimmick, if that makes sense. It's not got world's first. Drop, or it's not going, we're a funny shape like a winged roller coaster, or.
Yeah, I think that was very much sorry.
It was very refreshing to go on a roller coaster where it's not like, what we're going to pimp is a tiny part of the ride.
Yeah.
So what they did is they just went, this is a roller coaster, and we're just going to make a really good roller coaster.
Yeah. And that was sort of my thing with it, was that it was really nice to go on a roller coaster that was just a badass roller coaster, because the ride before, the last couple of new rides we've been on, roller coaster wise, was the 13, which we've said before. When we first went on it, it disappointed us because it was this horizontal drop that was supposed to be badass, wasn't. And then you've got the Swarm in Thorpe Park, which we've been on as well, which is a winged roller coaster. Although it was very good, it is definitely touted as being much more badass than it actually was.
Being on the wings doesn't add that much to the experience of the roller coaster.
No, not really, because we've been, especially because it's like, oh, you're nearly banging into things, and it's like, I thought the Nemesis had us banging into things more. Doesn't, it's not a big shocker. But with this one, you are going to go through 14 loops. We went through 14 loops. You are going to be really dizzy when you get off this ride. We were really dizzy when we got off the ride.
The tagline is that you'll be marmalised. And that's really the best way to describe coming off.
Yeah, it just melts you.
It's the first time I've come off a roller coaster properly dizzy.
Yeah.
And I think it's part of the design of the harness, but your legs go kind of funny too. So you're sort of staggering around when you come off it.
Yeah, you do.
And it doesn't help the way they've designed the exit point. They've used very clever sort of optical illusion painting. So when you're trying to leave the ride, you're sort of going, I should go that way. No, we're going this way. And that even just adds to the dizzy effect, which I actually thought was a really nice touch.
Very cleverly done. So really fun. The whole they've gimmicked the ride, obviously, like 13's in the old church and blah blah blah. With this one, it's the Smiler. You will be Fred.
1 minute. No, that's still gonna work.
Just switch it off for now. Ditch it in a minute.
Yeah, I've added too much milk, that's my bad.
Fuck it. Who cares? So you've wasted a bit of flour and some yeast that's out of date anyway. Do you want to check your bath?
We're good.
Cool. And get your go. Just cut it out of bread. This is quite funny. So, right, back from that. The sort of story of it is that it's a correctional device for you to become a smiling advocate of the Ministry of Joy. And it's really quite cool. It's reminds me of the Happiness Patrol, which is a really naff Doctor Who episode. I will have to do a Doctor Who rant now for that. There is a so as you're standing in the ride with all these cars and stuff, you do queue underneath it. Yes. Quite literally, the ride's going over you as you're queuing up for it.
Noisy.
And it is really noisy. We actually, whilst we were there, because we had family with us, we were just like, ain't answering phone, be out in about half an hour. And put the phones away because you wouldn't be able to hear them.
No.
But it was playing this real sort of very sort of laughing nursery rhyme music, you know, ha 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 ha, and it's really quite creepy.
It sort of slowly seeps into the subconscious.
Yeah, and they've got all of these all the screens up which are showing, you know, people laughing and stats of people becoming advocates and optical illusions as well.
A lot of optical illusions.
Yeah, a lot of sort of mind-numbing optical illusions.
Even the back of the seats. So we got quite lucky and actually sat front 2 of the 3 times we went on. But the first time we went on, we were third row, I think.
Yeah.
But the actual back of the seat in front has sort of printed on it those weird illusions that when you look at them, they seem to rotate and things.
Yeah.
So like even the seats are optical illusions. It was they crammed them in everywhere.
Yeah. Talking about that, so yeah, that's basically the rough sort of plot idea. It doesn't really matter, but it's a really nice gimmick. I really like the design. We've been saying, like the Smiler face reminds us very Cheshire Cat, but very twisted. One of the imageries I liked with the sort of advertising, the boards they had up, is they have the Minister of Joy who sort of comes up and rants, and it's very sort of 1984 kind of thing. But they actually imposed the Smiler face over his face, so the lines of the smile make him look really skeletal. And it was really cool, and that was really badass. So yeah, I really liked a lot of the imagery. Very sort of Neil Gaiman, Tim Burton, twisted humour, really good. With the ride itself then, the carriage, just because we were talking about the optics on it, is really quite well built for a modern roller coaster. It's 16 people, which is a decent amount, yeah, so it's a row of four rows. What this means though is you've got a square carriage, which sort of stops you getting this front and back speed difference. And I think the reason why they've had to do it that way is because you can see if it was a full-on train, you'd be coming off, the front would be going round one loop, whilst the back was still halfway round the last loop.
And there's also corkscrews on the loops.
And there's because you are going upside down whilst corkscrewing and things. So I think if they'd built it as a full-on train, you'd get stuck. Quite simply, momentum would be totally
if they built
knackered.
it as a full train, they would have to convert to a Nemesis type coaster with an undercarriage.
Probably.
And I think they're trying to sort of jazz it up and do some different.
I think the undercarriage has kind of been done. Being an undercarriage like that is very Nemesis, and that's kind of one of the novelties of the Nemesis.
Well, so again, although we're talking about how it's not too gimmicky, we think about the other big coasters in the park. You've got Air where you've got that funny sitting position. You've got your Nemesis where you're hanging down below.
Yeah.
Your Rita, you're in a car. 13's almost like a wooden coaster.
Yeah.
Car. Like the mine trains. So again, it's just a different style of sitting in the cart with a different style of harness.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know if it's almost part of that where they're trying to make the coasters aesthetically very different.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's also they're just trying to have, I can't think of any other roller coaster which has a square train, really. I think it was a good design and it worked. Yeah. And actually, it did mean as well that they could have multiple running.
Yeah, they had 4 on at one point.
Yeah, because because it's such a long ride and because the carts are relatively small, they could have them bursting through a decent amount of time. So they weren't cracking through people, actually. We were constantly moving. Because one of the nice things as well with rides is that if you can keep people moving, you don't mind queuing for half an hour, 40 minutes, as long as you are continually moving. That when you go, how long have we been waiting? Oh, we were over there like 2 seconds ago. Oh, that's fine then. It's when you're standing in the same place for half an hour, for a good 5 minutes, and then move a big chunk, and then you're standing. It just gets it makes it feel longer. With the ride itself, and so that's good. Weirdly enough, one of those strange ones, we really like the harness design. They've really perfected the sort of drop-down harness buckle. It didn't need a safety seat belt. It's just locked straight in. It was very comfortable around the legs. It almost had a codpiece bit, which was quite amusing.
It didn't click into place.
No.
It wasn't like you had to go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, which is annoying for a lot of people like myself, where I'm actually in between clicks at the moment. So I tend to get when the guys come around check them, I go, give it a shove, please, because I've got too much movement and it feels uncomfortable. And then they go whack, and I'm oh, thank you, and then I'm in, but it's a bit tight.
Even I get that.
Yeah.
So
with this being just a clean pneumatic, that's perfect. Doesn't have a click, as I say. But the other thing, randomly enough, is that on the sides they've got really, it's hard plastic, sort of fairly solid plastic all the way around, but padded enough. It's relatively soft. It's comfortable. But yeah, on between each shoulder is really, really, really thick soft, padding. Thick, soft foam, so that if you do rattle in it, you're not going to lose your molars, which the corkscrew and things were guilty of chipping quite a few teeth. So yeah, there we go. That's the cart itself's really nice. The ride itself is brilliant. It throws you into the ride for a start.
I think it's stolen that from the Saw ride in Fort Park.
Yes, very much.
Where you literally, it's like you're sat there in the loading station, and about 4 feet in front of you is the first drop.
Yeah,
so
and
you literally just go whoop, and off you go.
Yeah, because so many people are used to exit the station,
go
up, and then go. So this one, it does do the toe up and get in the proper ride, but it actually the first thing it does is kick you down a hill and round a corkscrew, just to throw you off balance, and then they crank you up and off you go. That was really cool. From there, it's all a bit of a blur. It's quite hard because you are literally spending most of your time upside, spinning round and round and round.
Yeah.
It's
the
quite.
corkscrews have been the loops as well.
Yeah, it's
really
loops
very
and corkscrews and like there's a bat wings bit where you'll go in, round a loop here, and then out. So you get this sort of. Some of it is really pretty, but yeah, it's really disorientating riding it. If you're trying to follow where you are in the ride, your best bet is to sit back and enjoy the damn thing, to be fair. Then, so yeah, you just get thrown out and blasted through loads of this, and then it hits a point and you go, oh, that was about as long as the Nemesis, we're done. And then you look at the walls, it's halfway corrected, and they crank you up, again stolen from the Saw.
Yeah. They
crank you up vertically, and then throw you around again.
That feels very unnatural.
It's really creepy. I actually think the Smiler is slightly more than vertical, that you're going up slightly more at the acute angle, and that feels really churny actually. It doesn't feel unsafe. If they had you upside down going at that speed, I'd be really tense and really freaked out. But it's not too bad to completely freak you out, but it's enough to be like, yeah, it's just enough to be unnerving. A bit like, this is really weird. Not sure about this.
Yeah, it's a comfort zone fish.
Yeah, it really is. But that was, but yeah, not so much that people are like, I'm not doing that again. No, because once you're off the ride, you kind of forget about it as well because you've been thrown about so much. And then so it pulls you up and throws you around another full section of ride. And that's really sort of the main bit of the ride. The one thing also I would say about it is that they had this big thing about these bloody mental things that they did in it, and they didn't actually exist. They sort of made this big issue of them.
You did go through the gas cloud, which is really just a mist.
Yeah, they spray water on you, which they sort of dubbed as laughing gas, but it's not. They can't spray laughing gas at you. If someone has an allergic reaction, they're going to get sued a lot.
Big time.
So it's just water, but it makes you jump because they do actually just shoot you in the face.
It's very cold as well.
And it's cold.
Especially that
Yes. They had the tickler, which looks almost like car wash rotators, but they don't touch you. They're just there on the ride, and it's a bit like, oh.
It's just an aesthetic thing.
It's just an aesthetic thing. The hypnotizer, which is just spinning discs, which,
I did think
in the
pouring rain, the tickler will come into effect because it's turning, it's dripping with water.
Well, that's true. That is true. And then you've got.
That is actually the last
we'll do that in a second. Okay. Sorry, because the last one is the I can't remember what it was called, the blinder or something like that. It was strobe lights, which do work, but they weren't working when we were there. I didn't even see strobes.
I didn't see strobes. The only strobes I saw was in the queue line.
Yes, but inside. So yeah, you were about to say about the weather, which is quite important, seeing as it broke down on us before we went this time.
On the Tuesday, we only went once on the Simler on the Tuesday because it was a much busier day.
So just to explain that, because we haven't gone into it, we went 2 days, we went Monday and the Tuesday. The Monday we got on it twice. We ran straight there, straight as the gates opened, straight there, first on, and then we were there last on as well. And then Tuesday, because we were more important on getting all the other rides done, as we've been busy doing stuff with family on the Monday, we then we
saved it for the end.
Yeah, we were keeping an eye on the queue as well, and
so once it dropped to sort of 30 minutes.
Yeah, and we just did it one time right at the end before we went home. So anyway, sorry. So that last time before we went home.
Yes, but we've been very lucky with the weather in that it was being really quite warm and sunny. We had showers were forecast for Tuesday, but they held off till about 4:30. As we were queued up in the inside part, so we were just about in the loading bay, it did come over the tannoy that the weather conditions were deteriorating and it might be uncomfortable for some riders, so to move aside and let other people pass if they didn't go on it. And then he said that if the weather continues to deteriorate, they may have to close the ride. So it looks like either, well, I mean, it wasn't windy, so it must be if it's too wet.
They're not running.
That they can't run the Smiler. And this is just a conclusion we've jumped from the commenting. But it does seem a bit weird that they would make a ride in Britain that's not waterproof.
Yeah, or doesn't run in water. To be fair, that ride had been running with an 80-minute queue all day because they weren't running full carts. And I think they were running 2 or 3 carts.
And one had
one of them had
dummies.
Yeah, one of them had the diagnostic dummies in it, which says to me something was being iffy. This is much like last time where we were like, fair enough, it broke, it's new, it's bloody complicated. They still fixing bugs. They are still very much fixing bugs. But
it's safe.
But we rode it and it was fine. And yeah, it's safe, and they're not going. And because it's Britain, they can't. The health and safety around here is so ridiculous. They'll shut it before there's even potential of someone getting hurt. So yeah, that's fine. But yeah, they're still working the bugs out, and that was happening there. We also one of the funny ones that happened was, as I say, on the Monday. First day, we went straight there, and we ran straight there because we knew it was going to be busy, we knew it was going to be popular, and we waited. I think we waited about the same time every time we went there, which was about 35 to 40 minutes. But the first time we went there, it was so... we were like 5 minutes from actually getting on the ride, and it came over the tannoy that...
that was a queue time.
Yeah, they were like, please, attention please for everyone who's riding the Smiler, your attention is mandatory. Which was quite good for the plot. And they were like, we will let you know if you are at the rear of the queue. The current estimated time for the Smiler is about 110 minutes. We suggest if you are at the rear of the queue riding some of our sister rides in the park, as they are all currently sitting at 0 minutes. And come back later. And it was just like, so it's one of these things, if you're looking to go 2014
off season,
even off season, you're going to be queuing. It might be worth a fast track. So that's that basically. It's ridiculously popular, but it was really, really good. Slower than I thought though. The ride itself, actually, it's not eye-blisteringly fast, but you're up and down a lot, so there's a lot of sort of changes in speed. Really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Any last comments, you think?
No, I think that's us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Over to the haul video, because we bought lots of stuff.
Well, we got in free, so why not?
Awesome. See you guys later.
Cheers. This is the haul part of the video. Obviously, big Smiler, so we finally got all our Smiler merchandise. Can't you tell? We'll start with sort of t-shirts and things, I think. What we've got on the pillow here. So, we've got the big Smiler jumper.
That's mine.
With the sort of different contrasting hood and stuff, which is obviously this is the colour scheme all the staff are wearing, so it's quite fun. I got myself the little t-shirt with the 3 little Smiler faces. They did have a lot of stuff with sort of like corrected and things written on it, but because it only came in white, which is a colour that we don't really wear that much, we just decided not to bother.
It also went, because it said things like corrected and didn't have the Smiler logo, it was a bit unobvious what it was, and although you can't, it's quite nice to have ones that isn't just the big logo, you kind of want to know that it's a ride t-shirt, We got
a Choo Choo t-shirt from the Runaway Mine Train, which is obviously it's Choo Choo since '92, so it's their running thing. So we had good fun this time on the mine train.
The guy who was operating it was an absolute scream, and the t-shirt's just particularly cool.
Yes, and the revamping all the Oblivion stuff, so quite nice t-shirt as well, with sort of a metallic-y sort of silver going with it, which is quite nice. And then we've got, what do these two? We've had the in-laws doing some dog sitting, so we've got little Teddy, the scuba diver Teddy, and the Alton Towers past and present book, which they sell in store.
So yeah, those are thank you gifts.
Thank you gifts for dog sitting.
To my folks for dog sitting. Does it look interesting?
Yes, we got.
Totes my goats.
Yes. Bags of adrenaline.
Just because it was cool.
And we got. So it was going cheap. We ice tray. On the drinks were.
It's all sharks and fish and things. It just amused me. And we bought a ton of drinks where.
Yes. We got a lot of it quite Simler merchandise. We've got
thermos.
nice little thermos. With
I needed a new one. My last one's bust.
Shot glass to go with the set.
Bring it on forward. So put your hand in it so that you can see because it's got the teeth, which is quite cool. So when you put drinks in it, it'll all shine through.
The sort of Collins glass type thing.
So it's got the smiler face on one side, and when you turn it around, it goes 1 to 14 because there's 14 loops on the smiler. Don't know how well that's picked up, but that's fine. 2 of those.
We got.
This is weird.
Yeah, it's like a thermos.
Spin it around because it says Nemesis, the full Nemesis logo on it, which is cool.
It's like a thermos, but it's for soft drinks. So.
Yeah, unscrews.
Unscrew it. It's got a wee straw.
And the strokey bit.
It's like a sort of tippy tommy cup. You sort of got to
I want
stick
to know.
it.
The thing is, it doesn't say not to put soft drinks in because it looks like a can. I'm like, oh, is that to put soft drinks in, or is that just
So
going to be
we
weird
shall-
through the straw?
We shall experiment and see.
Yeah, very much so.
On the sort of shot glasses and things, we got some test tube shirts.
Had to get them. They weren't very expensive, and they were
Yeah.
just super. And they're just cool. And I've always wanted some test tube shot glasses.
They are
so.
plastic and not glass. But that's fine.
Yeah, they're not terribly expensively made, but
They are more
stuff
for
it.
display.
Yeah,
anyway.
they're just for fun. We just thought they'd be cool to pick up.
And we've got one of the giant mugs. It's just a nice Alton Towers one.
Turn around because it's a really cool shape.
And it's got, yeah, it's like a wee gravy boat.
Yeah, we
And it's got on it, 13, that's the
Oblivion
and
Smiler.
Smiler sort of silhouettes.
And it's got all the ride like on the handle. It's got a track that goes into the mug,
the mug.
which is quite cool.
Which is quite
And
nice.
that's going to be used for toothbrushes, to be
Yes.
perfectly honest.
And lastly, we got
Rachel's favourite. She
My
was
smiling
screaming
clock.
for this. Tilt it
That
back
one?
a bit. No, yeah, sorry, the lights at the top are getting it. So yeah, random numbers. She just really liked the clock. She saw it last time. She thought it was very Alice in Wonderland. I went, I want the clock, but we can't buy it because we weren't on the ride. So there we go. We got one.
So I see how many people it confuses.
Yeah.
They're quite fun.
I'm looking forward to putting that up. So there we go. That's the haul. Did we miss anything? I don't think so.
I don't think that's it.
Look, we bought so much crap this time. It's unreal.
Well,
But
technically we got in free though, so that kind of
helps.
things out, I suppose.
Yep.
We saved £100 on entry.
Yep.
So.
Thought it. Cool. So that's all the bits and bobs. Right. Thanks, guys.
Until next time.
Until next time. Cheery bye.